Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Viakada. So it's been so long since I talked about books. Yeah, where do I start from now? So I read this book, Second-Class Citizen by Buchi Emecheta, and I actually talked about this book on my Substack. You guys can read about it. Just me, just wanting to give you a backstory, wanted to give you more like my visceral reaction to this book. So we'll get right into the chapters that really made me think like, 51 years later, we are still going through the same things again and again. Like, there has not been any change. Looking at it from the surface, there have been some changes, if one can say, but deep down it's still all the same. It's still all the same story again and again, just in different formats. Ada's beginnings were kind of sad. The very first part of the book was one of the reasons what made me really or finally get into reading this, because I've been seeing crumbs of it everywhere and there. So, and I was taking a course on nutritional women's health and rights. Then quotes actually came up and I was like, okay, this book is starting to look like something that I really have to take into. I have to read it. I have to read about it. I have to know what's up. I have to know what is it about second-class citizen that is just such a monumental, just an important book, especially in feminist circles, especially in women's studies. So, and I did, and I was utterly saddened, disappointed, angry, bitter, for lack of words. So at that beginning, it was kind of sad. I mean, just like so many other girls, the birth of a female child is not always so registered. I mean, it's even ingrained in us. They say, wait she born, how she born woman. And then it told us, don't worry, man will come soon. It's like, it's inevitable that you have to give it to your son. Why is it always so? I think it's because of the importance we put on the male child. Like, there's this preference, the son preference, if you mean. And I think that's actually what Buchi was actually trying to tell her in. Like, there was always this importance for her brother. I mean, he was the one that was to carry the family. He was the one that was the figurehead, so to say. But what made me really admire Ada as a character was that she was never relenting. Her, her determination was like such a thing that I admire, because if we had more of Ada's guts, but my girl was looking for all manner of ways for her to make sure she went to school. Like, she had to do all. I think me and I was like, you're justified in what you want. I mean, the society does not make it easy for us, so why not look for ways to make it easy for yourself? She could only do as much as she was given. I mean, she had a choice to get married to an older guy or get married so early, but she saw the marriage as like, would I call it like a step up, like level up to how she was going to achieve her goals. It was not sweet, and it was, I would say it was bittersweet. The journey was messy and as bitter as well, but there was not at the end of the tunnel. That's all I have to say. I call it the maternal betrayal. In chapter 9, that little part where Ada confronted Francis with his misogynistic takes right to his face. Like, you don't regard women. And that was the truth throughout this book. Francis never regarded Ada. He never regarded her. Even his own mother. And she made that statement. He was always willing to collect and to collect and to collect and to collect. And that was what, and you could see that play out even now when it comes to the boy moms. There's this cushioning, more like how do I put it? It's like, I think the way they think is, I did this for your father. I suffered in silence. I continued big skin. I won't say bask. I won't say enjoying. I continued in the suffering. I endured for your father. So why would another woman do the same for my son? And it's crazy because your choices does not determine other women's choices. Just because you endured, or just because you pushed through, or just because you stayed, does not mean that other women should do the same. I think it shouldn't be the opposite. I mean, you suffered this. Society didn't give you the choice. So I don't understand why boy moms continue to cushion this misogynistic attitude, especially towards their fellow gender. I mean, you're a woman. And if you could see it play out, I mean, he never really regarded his mom. He never did. It was more like he wanted a, how do I call it? Sounding, is it what is that word you use? He just wanted to have someone echo what he thought was, and his mother was the best person to echo out his thoughts. I mean, more like, see what my mother did. Why can't you as a woman do the same? It's not as if he love his mother so much. I mean, it's just that that's just how it played out. And I like that part that it was pointed out that it's not just about um, the male child. Sometimes we, as women, tend to create open doors for this in the society. And I wouldn't solely blame them, because it's more like a circle. It continues on and on again. Like, the society has created this, and they don't want to fight it. It's more like, I have suffered it, you should suffer it. Or I endured it, you should endure it. And I'm like, why? Why do I have to do that? Why? I don't why do I have to endure something you endured? Just because you endured it, so I should. It doesn't make any sense. And I love that Ada put that to that guy's face, because Francis was, he was like, he got me angry. I was like, no, this guy has guts. He has audacity. And I won't blame him. Society provided him with that. The people around him provided him. His own mother provided him. Even Adam provided him with that. So this part is it's a very trickish part for me, because when it comes to eugenics, I think I've never really understood it. It's more like, if you can't take care of children, you shouldn't give birth to them. But then the society makes it so. Why why is that choice being made on me? So because a rich man, okay, I'm saying off my head, because I really want to put it this way. So if you have money, you're allowed to have as many children as you want. Mm, so what about the emotional? Like, how does that play out emotionally? How does that play out when you have like 12 children? Like, I don't know if it makes sense. Now, using Ada as a mirror to this, Ada had like, and you just have to know that Ada was 21 when all this were happening. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around she was 21. And to think that this book is more like an autobiography of the author herself, it drove me insane. Like, she was just 21 and she had like three children already, and she was working, providing for children and her useless husband. It's crazy. And she went on to give birth to her fourth and to her fifth. I mean, this woman was tired. It's not like she didn't love her kids, but she was damn tired. The woman was tired. She needed a way out. And that is where our reproductive rights as women come into play. Why don't we have the right to say, you know what? I'm the one carrying this child for 9 months. I'm the one suffering the consequences. It's not as if I have a supportive partner. I mean, even if I do, I am the one suffering the medical consequences, whether I like it or not. Childbirth is such, in as much as it's beautiful, it's kind of agonizing. A lot of things are taken away from you emotionally, physically, financially. A lot of things are involved. Now, for a person like Ada, who is just 21 years old, you can begin to imagine what goes on. And this is where it gets. Why don't we have autonomy of our bodies? If you've not known, like I'm all for, I'm all, I'm all for the abortion. Like, sorry to say, I know I'm going to get hate for this. I know I'm going to get hate for this. I don't know if I'm going to see this, but I do not care because take Ada for example. She wanted to get rid of pregnancy. I mean, this was her fifth child in a country that is racist as hell, with a husband that is unsupportive, with no village, like with no community to call her own. Of course, something needed to be done. Something needed to be done. And then she went to the hospital. Guess what? They wanted her husband's signature. Mm. And you see, you think that, oh, in the Western world, things are a bit different. This patriarchy and misogyny permeates two different cultures. And I wondered how that's still. I'm like, is it that they planned to do it? Was it that men just gathered around the world that were like, we are superior, so therefore, it's crazy because what do you mean that I need my husband's signature to get rid of something that's inside of me? Because of the you see how that is crazy. As in, even in Nigeria, it was something that it's like, see, if we seek permission to leave. We're seeking permission to leave. And that is how I think about it. You might argue less that isn't it the husband that collected his sperm? After he donated his sperm, what now happened? Is it the one carrying it? Is it the one suffering MSS? Is it the one suffering losing heart? Is it the one having to take drugs every single day just to keep this baby from eating me up? Oh, and then she had to forge a signature. And then when she now made the India, that's what it kept growing and growing and growing. Like you could see the medical misogyny peering his head out. It was just being like, hey, see me here, see me here. So the Indian doctor who supposedly know what she has been going through, she went to meet him like, see, I need to do this. And then later on, only for her to find out that the pregnancy was not terminated because he was he, I don't know how to put it, was he like trying to solidarity with her husband? Because I don't get it. You deceived. This woman came to sort for a health issue. She came for her body that the last baby almost killed her. I don't know if you, I mean, hello. If you read the book, you should know that last baby almost killed her. You know about her health condition, yet you deliberately deceived her and gave her something that, and it still happens even till now. It still happens. Even in Nigeria, where abortion, post-abortion care is actually it's legal. For some reason, women are not allowed to enjoy that because of the shame. And I'm like, for God's sake. And in a country like Nigeria, religion is at the forefront, culture is at the forefront, misogyny is at the forefront. Like there's no helping us. You keep seeing different things happen, people using hangers, people using lots of harmful medications. just to get rid of this shame. And it's not supposed to be. It's not. I should be able to say, no, I want to keep this baby. And it's fine. No, I want to get rid of this baby. And it is fine. I mean, she, when she went to the doctor, not for the abortion, she wanted contraceptives to avoid pregnancy. That was where she needed her husband's signature. Don't get me wrong. Then now, in chapter 13, when she says she found out that the contraceptives, she was scared of the medication used for the contraceptive. She now wanted to use the UTI, the what they call it, IUD device, and then it failed. So her husband caught her and then picked her up. Then she left the house. And the emo man saw her. Instead of him to provide like a safe haven for her, like he took her back. Come, let's go and apologize to your husband. Because they needed to protect the marriage. You see, this is my problem with her. This woman is about to lose her life. This woman, you see her in bruises. You still carry her to the same person that have caused wound. You're not more reprimanding the husband for beating her up. You are more like reprimanding him for not being a man to take care of his family. Don't get me wrong, he did the right thing in that aspect, because how can you not? But it was more of a way of protecting his ego, his fellow man's ego, where the wife and marriage was concerned. It was nothing about protecting Ada herself, who is the victim of the abuse. It was more of protecting the marriage, protecting culture, protecting the image. And this is what gets me with Nigerians. This is what gets me with people around the world. You try to protect a lot of things, and we end up causing more harm than good. Silence is never the answer. And I've been, I'm like, what would I call it? I'm guilty of that. Silence, keeping quiet. I think I'm learning more, because we live in a society that thrives in silence, and it's so easy to break out from. But that's why I enjoy reading books. That's why I enjoy hearing stories. That's why I enjoy literature, media, because it reflects. It puts a mirror to your face and like, look at the mess. You're a mess. We are all a mess. So I believe that the culture of silence should not be accepted. It shouldn't be. We keep on protecting something that's not worth protecting. It's not worth protecting. You're causing more harm than good in protecting and keeping silent and preserving an idea that is marriage. It's crazy. But that's just me. The brainchild. The brainchild, like throughout the book, I don't think Ada actually recognized how dubious, how devilish, how satanic her husband was. I think we as the readers saw that. At every moment we knew that. But coming to realize it with Ada at that moment where he burns her manuscript, and this is coming from a writer like me. I mean, I felt it in my bones. Like I was like, this guy tried it. And you know what gets me? She didn't even recognize. She recognized the flaws in her, but she was willing to accept it, and she was willing to still respect him. She still needed his validation. When she wrote this book in, trying to find herself, and she wrote this beautiful piece, and she still wanted her husband's validation. And I need you to validate this for me to see, is it good, is it not? And he rejected her at every turn. He didn't want to read it. He didn't want to see the good in her. And when he did, instead of him to tell her his feedback concerning the book she wrote, not saying that this book, this thing that you're born in, could actually help this family. Since you don't want to work, since you don't want to provide anything, you don't see this book as a means of living this poverty stricken place you are in. No, he saw his ego first, and that's what happened. I'm like, if I'm in my shoes and my woman is doing wonders, hey, hey, I'll put up my head. Like, person one know they do things. Like, your own is my own, like, my own is your own. But I don't get the ego. I don't get it. So what is this about when your own partner does more than you? Why does that jealousy grows? For women, I feel like it's because of the roles that we are regarded to play. So for a woman to earn more, for a woman to do more than a man, it seems like a rose to the males, to the man's ego. I'm like, what the hell? We're a family, what the hell? And he burnt it. He took it, he burnt it, and he kept smiling at her. Like, that evil grin was just, the way she described that part, I could feel, I was feeling myself burn, like I was angry. I felt like I'm the one that this was happening to. Go, what? And then she began to tell the stories of how callous this man was. You know, that's why I think that part was, most might not catch it, but that part actually made me believe that people tell you who they are from the very first time they see you. They tell you even before you think that, oh, marriage changed him. He was not like this when I married him. He was exactly like that. But we're too blinded by the idea of love. Because tell me why, when she started talking about how he killed an animal or a pet of a neighbor, or those little things, the little stories of how he did those things, because and then she could see it play out before me. That's why when we say that he's not wicked to me, he's kind to me, but he's he's rude to all. I'm like, hey, my dear, he will be rude to you when the time comes. He's not going to change who he is because of you. He's just, what would I call it? He's just more like he's more like managing you. Okay, I know this person, so. And this kind of thing actually happened to me. The person was just, I could see it play out. Like, the person was not rude to me. No, was not. But I could see it play out with the others. So rude, he was aggressive. Hmm. Hmm. One day it will be me. He just kept playing my mind, like, one day it could be me. I checked out. So I feel like people should be more conscious of who they dally with, who their partner. Listen to the words, listen to the actions. I'm not saying people are not perfect. Don't get me wrong. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not saying, oh, for that very perfect. People are not perfect, but there are ways people navigate life that that this person, I'm willing to navigate life together with this person. That's all I'm saying. I'm still angry thinking about him burning that. And it's making me want to, I'm going to actually go to read the Bright Price, because that's what the book he wants. And I said it's an autobiography of the author herself, Buchi Emecheta, with her husband Sylvester. So it's actually a nice thing for me, because after she got published, she actually rewrote the manuscript again, and then the was published. So that thing that should be next in turn for me to read if I don't get into reading slow, because now at this stage I'm so like over the place. I don't have time for my hobbies and things I love to do, but slowly I'll keep it. So this book might be something I'll be enjoying, or it might be in the shelf for a while if I get into it, but it's definitely going to be in mind to be ready. The truth is that Ada is a reflection of every woman in our society. Different parts of Ada it's not necessarily Ada as a monolith for every woman, but like you could pick out different parts of Ada as she lived through life in her 21 years we have seen in this book, and you can see how it affects one woman or the other. No matter how you see it, you can take away something from this book. And it's just such a sad feeling that 51 years, I keep saying 51 years because that was when this book was published. He's further than that. You can see that play out even till now. We're still battling domestic abuse, we're still battling systemic abuse against women when it comes to our right to live as women, to live as human beings and not as properties. We're still fighting this even till now. There have been improvements, surely. Like I always say, it's a slow and steady process in trying to change the narratives for women around the world. It has been a slow progress, but we're getting there. It's not going to be this eruptic change, but it's going to be very slow. And we have to keep fighting ourselves because somehow women are also the upholders of some of the stakes, and it's going to take a while for me to change something that is so internalized. It's going to be difficult for us to change that narrative, but I believe we are getting there. We are, and that is my take for this book. And I know there were spoilers in this book, but if you will, I encourage you to read the book. It's actually an eye opener. All right, see you guys next. And if you like this video, there are actually many other videos on my playlist on books that I've talked about, and I do talk about so many interesting books, movies, and the rest of them. So see you guys later, and do subscribe. Thank you. I like the video. All right, guys, bye.